that, of course, is a story for another day, and I'll see you, and we'll talk about that down the road. Wrestling fans, welcome to One Wrestling's WWE NXT review. I am the show, Bill Schuyler. You can follow me on Twitter at YouGotTheShow. We're going to jump right into it here. We are at April 29th, Full Sail University, Orlando, Florida. Finally, a new set of tapings have begun, and the difference change in the crowd is audibly and visibly different. This crowd is stacked, racked, and ready to explode for the action in the NXT ring tonight. We open up with the NXT champion Kevin Owens coming down to the ring and shooting a promo aimed at Sami Zayn, saying his fists are taped and he is ready to fight face to face, one-on-one, no jump from behind. Stephen Lord William Regal, that is, his music hits, and the GM enters the ring and tells Kevin Steen that he does not make the rules here in NXT, that he and only he decides who has a match, does not have a match, who fights, who doesn't, who has a title, who does not. Kevin Owens says, respectfully, sir, I asked for Sami Zayn, and you're no Sami Zayn. Respectfully. And at that point, Sami Zayn's music hit. Sami came down to the ring. Regal tells him, I want no action, no problems in this ring tonight. We're going to act like professionals. And then Sami Zayn cuts a promo on Kevin Owens, telling him that his entire career, everything he has accomplished up until this point of being the champion at NXT, always has an asterisk next to it with Sami's name. His name is always attached to everything and anything that Kevin has done in his wrestling career, no matter where it was in the world. And that was a hit for those fans who knew these gentlemen before NXT, when Kevin Owens was known as Kevin Steen and Sami Zayn was the masked El Generico. And these two men were not only tag team champions and friends for years, they also became the most vicious of foes and had some of the most heinous, violent, unbelievable matches in the history of the sport. And they come here into NXT, and you're salivating and waiting for them to take the leash off of these gentlemen and allow them to do what they do best. And this man here feels that it's coming, and it's coming soon. He says that you really need this fight, Kevin. You need this fight to get out of the shadow of Sami Zayn. Up until this point, Kevin Owens said he was not giving a title match to Sami Zayn, that he did not deserve it. But upon that last remark about the shadow, he became so incensed and enraged that he told Regal that he's got the match. You want a title match? The belt is on the line at Takeover May 20th on the network at WWE NXT. This match is going to be one for the ages, guaranteed. Do not miss Takeover on May 20th. As an NXT fan and somewhat of an expert, I'm telling you now that these two guys are going to take the gloves off, and it's going to be, as they say, a slobber knocker indeed. With that, we then take a brief moment to tell everybody, you know what, I don't know if you had a chance yet, but right now, if you would like, you could throw this onto your iPhone or your iPad. Take it with you as we talk about NXT. Go get yourself a nice cold one of your favorite beverage. Kick off them shoes. Take off that tie. You got that dress shirt. Get that off. kick off them pants if you need to, throw on a pair of shorts and a t-shirt and get comfortable while we talk about a little professional wrestling down at the NXT arena. Get in that comfy chair, and we then have our first match of the evening. We open up with a tag team non-title match between the champions Blake and Murphy, Team Bam, going up against the #1 contenders Enzo and Big Cass. These guys are over big time. The fans are in love, and these guys can do no wrong in their eyes. They are unbelievable on the mic. Their promos are on top of their game. Their in-ring work has improved greatly. And again, that promo work, that contact to have, the response to the crowd, you can't teach that. And the match kicks off, and the champions take control from the beginning. It's a good, solid match going back and forth. Each team putting each other over pretty well, selling for each other like they need to do. But it came down to Enzo Amore and Big Cass scoring the pin and pinning the champions and solidifying their #1 contender spot. And it hasn't been signed yet, but I'm quite sure that the tag team belts will be on the line at Takeover. And I would not be surprised to see 2 new tag team champions leaving the ring that night along with the lovely Carmella. We then had a women's match. Bayley going up against Dana Brooke. Dana Brooke to me seems a bit green in the ring. She has a great body. She's good on the microphone. She reminds me, if you will, of perhaps a female Lex Luger from the early days of his career, where he had an excellent physique. He was capable on the microphone, but very green in the ring. And it took other wrestlers with great skill to make him look better than he was at the time while he learned. And I think that's what we have going on here with Dana Brooke, as Bayley takes her throughout the moves in this ring, making her look good, making her look strong, without Bayley looking to be too weak in the match. Opponents, each guy selling well. They sold well in the first match as well. I could see there's a bit of a brief change in maybe booking and how they're doing these matches. The matches are just very nice, precise. These guys are selling and wrestling and hitting their spots just right. Emma would come down to the ramp at ringside, taunting Bayley. Bayley would turn her back on Dana Brooke, a rookie mistake, and Brooke would take advantage and score and roll her up for the 1-2-3 and received her second win here in NXT. Our third match had Hideo Itami going up against a former NXT star who then moved to the main roster. I'm talking about Adam Rose and the Rosebuds, who came down to ringside with all the music and dancing and shenanigans that they do, and the crowd popped huge for Rose. They were solidly behind him until, of course, the match actually started and the ring hit. Rose looked actually really good against Itami in the beginning. A lot of moves in and out, escaping things from Itami, as Itami basically just seemed to be watching Rose, I say, like a predator. And then when it was time, he unleashed what he had to do. And when he did, he just utterly beat and pummeled and kicked Rose into oblivion. Hideo Itami had struck him with a hesitation drop kick into the corner, got him up in the middle of the ring, hit him with that shotgun drop kick, And it was over with the 1, 2, 3. Adam Rose back to dancing and whatnot with the Rosebuds. I don't think so tonight. He'll be a little bit hurt, needing a lot of ice and possibly some prescribed pain medication. We then get a vignette in William Regal's office where he verifies that Kevin Owens, the champion of NXT, will face for the title former champion Sami Zayn at Takeover on May 20th here on the WWE Network. And on top of that, a three-way dance for the #1 contender spot with Hideo Itami, Tyler Breeze, and Finn Balor. This could indeed be a match of the night qualifier, as you have two of the greatest international wrestling stars on the NXT or WWE roster. And Tyler Breeze is no slouch in the ring either. This should be a fantastic match. I'm looking forward to this takeover event. Everything they keep announcing as we go on throughout this show. We then hear, unlike the Raw and SmackDown, we have a second women's match going on here. Becky Lynch, the #1 contender, has a little bit of a promo going before, talking about what she's going to do to Sasha Banks and the like. And then we were down to the ring. She was going up against the rookie Sarah Dodson. And this was a quick and simple squash match, if you will, basically to show off Becky Lynch's moves, her ability in the ring, her quickness, and it ended with the most vicious armbar submission hold, and the match was over. The winner, #1 contender, Becky Lynch, for the NXT title. I look forward to the war of words between herself and Sasha Banks leading up to the title match that I'm sure will be signed for TakeOver. Matter of fact, I would tell you that you could take that to the bank. We then had our main event. Sami Zayn going up against Alex Riley. This match came about due to earlier in the evening as Sami was signing his contract for Kevin Owens' match. A-Rai stormed into the office demanding a third match against Owens. Regal told him that he gave him every opportunity from leaving the commentary to becoming a wrestler again, having 2 matches and failing to defeat Owens. He was done and had no further opportunities in challenging Kevin Owens. Enraged, indeed, was Alex Riley. Sami Zayn trying to placate him, calm him down, explain to him that Kevin Owens can drive his opponents crazy in the hunt when you're dealing with him. And he looked none too pleased to hear anything coming from Sami Zayn's mouth. And Zayn seemed to take a little bit of offense to that and said, I'm not doing anything tonight. If you want to fight, I'm your man. I'm ready to fight. And Regal said, the two of you got it. Main event. So here we are. Alex Riley made his way to the ring to great fanfare. The fans were solidly behind Alex Riley, with fans having signs and cheering him pretty loudly. And then Sami Zayn came out, his music hit, and the Olays began, and the crowd split once more towards Sami Zayn, in my opinion, than Alex Riley. This was a hard-hitting match by Riley, who took off in the beginning, using his strength and size to overcome Sami Zayn. Something that Zayn has dealt with his entire career as a smaller wrestler. This is not the first big man that he has come upon. He's wrestled him much larger and much stronger with much more experience. Kevin Owens was actually at the commentary table and was bullying the announcers so much that they were not even calling the match in the ring. occasionally mentioning something, but mostly talking about Kevin Owens, Rawley, or Zane. Kevin Owens talking more than anybody, putting himself over, putting Zane and Rawley down. And Zane did gain control back and managed to pull the top rope down as Rawley was coming to strike him with a clothesline. He went up and over the top rope to the floor. Zane then looked back and ran across the ring to the ropes, sprung off, ran full speed, flipped up and over, crash and burn into Alex Rawley, taking him out. Brian Sexton made the comment that that's something you might have to worry about in your match at TakeOver, and Zane took off his headphones and rushed down and hit Zane from behind, knocking Sami out. He then went to walk away and go back up the ramp, and the crowd began cheering, "Power bomb, power bomb, power bomb." He looked down at Zane, gave him a slight kick, and then went down to Alex Rawley and finished what he was going to do last week before Sami Zayn rudely interrupted him, and he picked up Alex Rawley and power bombed him into the ring apron, injuring him. They put that over intensely that he was injured badly. My opinion, this will write Alex Rawley out of the NXT storylines. He does not really fit in with the NXT product at this time. I am hoping that he either A, returns to commentary up on the main roster as they need another commentary, or to go up there as a main roster. I would love for him to actually get engaged in the feud with The Miz that he should have had when they dropped that back in the day. I digress on that. This was an outstanding match. I am looking forward to every match so far listed for TakeOver. When it comes to Sami Zayn and it comes to Kevin Owens, the type of matches these gentlemen can put on are historical. They are out of this world. If you have ever had the opportunity to see the former Kevin Steen and El Generico either working in tandem as a tag team or against each other in the many, many wars they had, I'm hoping they book this in the proper way. And what I would do is I would not have Sami win the belt at this event. I would have Owens doing what he does, able to overpower and out wrestle Zayn at certain points without the need to cheat or go out of his way to steal a win, and do so. Be that vile villain that will do anything and everything to secure that title, including damaging your opponent beyond anything expected and out of the referee's eyes. Or if it has to come down to a disqualification, doesn't matter, you retain the title. But you need to be vicious, ruthless, and do anything you can to hurt Owens. To hurt Zayn. And then their feud would continue. I would love to see a best of 7 or a best of 5 match between the men, starting out with regular type of matches, working their way up to a final ladder match. These guys had ladder wars in the Ring of Honor, and what they could do in NXT would have ratings and have people talking and be huge, and have that lead up to the next live event where they would finally face for that title if Sami Zayn had won the best of 7 matches, which of course he would. And in the match that they have at TakeOver, that you make a stipulation match, no DQ, best of 3 falls, street fight, anything goes, whatever you want to do, and you have those guys go at it on a 45-minute Broadway, if you need to, the entire last hour, if you do, of the show. Let them do everything they can do in the book, and you will make fans like you've never seen before, because you're going to put something on that they haven't seen in years in the WWE, between two young lions here in NXT. That, of course, is just my opinion, what I would do. No matter what, the match between Owens and Zane will be, I'm sure, a 5-star match. I'm sure they will have a great lead up to Takeover. I just want to see them really get involved in an intense face-to-face action feud every week going up to that time. And that best of 7, best of 5, whatever they want to make it be, would be a fantastic run, and something that hasn't been done in many, many years. I think the last would be Chris Benoit versus Booker T in WCW. And it was something that made superstars out of those two gentlemen in the fans' eyes. With that, I am the show, Bill Schuyler. You see me, I follow you right back on Twitter. Hit me up. I'd be glad to tweet with you. You want to send me a message, I get back. I'm here on YouTube under One Wrestling, if you will. And if you would be so kind as just hit that like button and the subscribe. Be part of us here every week. And I give shout outs, as always, first and foremost to the icon, the guru of professional wrestling for us here at One Wrestling and for the wrestling world, is for one Bill Apter at Apter One Wrestling on Twitter. On YouTube, you can find him at the Apter Chat with the best interviews with wrestlers from all the way back in the day with Sammartino to the most current of superstars. He is a well-respected and most knowledgeable professional wrestler, non-in-ring performer, if you will, in the business. He is respected by everyone. He is loved by everyone. Matter of fact, 2016, Bill Apter deserves to be in the WWE Hall of Fame. Have a little drinking game that we came up with while you're watching old pay-per-views, and every time you see Bill Apter at the ring with the camera getting in the camera and on site, take a drink. Quite a game. Bill Apter's always there, camera snapping, doing what he's got to do for decades. Shout outs to the Can-Am wrestling shows, Andre_Corbeil and Big Ray of Big Ray's show. And I have my little back in the day section on the show. Always check it out. The shows are fantastic. They're on their own. They're on top of the world. They get some of the greatest interviewers, pro wrestlers, and guys in the business. Guys recently of the likes of AJ Styles, Sean Hernandez. The list goes on and on, with many more coming down the line. Check out the Can-Am Wrestling Show every Saturday. You can hit them on Twitter at the Can-Am Wrestling Show. You hit up Andre_Corbeil or Big Ray's show. That's 2 S's in that. And my partner, Billy Ray Valentine at Billy Ray Hustle, and I are officially, barring an act of God, returning to filming the reboot and rebirth of One Wrestling Goes Old School under the new title of One Wrestling Presents Hustle and Show Goes Old School. We'll be taping Friday night with a dear friend of ours, the Professor Quintana, a complete and knowledgeable man of the sport of professional wrestling. And I believe we're going to be discussing not only the passing of Vern Gagne, but the legacy he has passed through the AWA, the champions, the superstars that were created and molded by him, people from the likes of Ric Flair up through Hulk Hogan and beyond. You would be surprised the amount of wrestlers that came, and not only wrestlers but announcers, backstage personnel, people that became part of the WWE or the NWA back at the time that the AWA dissolved. What a great story. Verne Gagne, one of the greatest minds in the business, a tremendous wrestler, a former great AWA world champion, a man sorely missed in this day and age of sports entertainment. Other than that, I do have Billy Ray has a non-affiliated podcast called the PW Hustle. Comes out usually weekly. You can find that on iTunes and Podbean, and I believe also now on Spreaker. And speaking of Spreaker, the show has went outlaw himself, and I have a non-affiliated podcast about professional wrestling called Inside the Squared Circle. My first episode came out last week. It's on my Twitter page. Feel free to check it out. Give me some likes. Subscribe to it. Let me know how you feel about my comments, what I say. I talk about the level and the spot of professional wrestling and where it is today and where it should be and what it needs to get away from. And anything else that I want to get off my chest and talk about. And it's for mature audiences only, which is why it's non-affiliated and outlaw. But besides that, this is One Wrestling. This is the One Wrestling WWE NXT review. I will see all of you next week. Tell your friends, tell your family, bring more people involved to check me out. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe, and there's comments below. Feel free to tell me what you felt about this show, what you liked, what you didn't like, what you'd like to see more of that isn't there, or what is there, what you would like to see maybe tweaked a little bit. Help me to help you. Help me help you to do a little Jerry Maguire with you and make this show the best in the business when it comes to NXT wrestling. Again, I am the show, and I will see you down the road.